Hey everybody, just checking in straight from my living room. Just finished a arm workout after I got my chest expanders earlier today. Gave them a bit of a fire burst, even though I had already trained arm earlier today. I wanted to test them out and get in a solid arm pump. So that was really good, but I have a really important topic to talk about today. A bit of a rant, so let's just get into it. As you can see from the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about why you suck at high reps, but not just that. I'm going to talk a bit about work capacity and some ways you can fix it. So let me start off with a little bit of an intro to explain what I think the problem is. So I am seeing a developing trend for both athletes and average gym bros to a constantly bigger degree only train towards a greater 1 rep max. The problem this brings is that most people have never done a set above 10 reps and only care about the big three for longevity. This is not optimal, and when the volume adds up and the intensity rise, you won't be able to keep up because you never train what matters the most: work capacity. You hear about people burning out and plateauing before hitting their 20s. This is because you focus on a specific development instead of covering a multilateral development in the early years and build a solid work capacity first. So I read a study about, for example, Swedish tennis players where some of them started out in the early years just playing tennis only and really getting good at that. The others played a big variety of different sports, building up all the fundamental athleticisms, like being able to throw and run and kick and lift heavy and sprint fast and all that, and rotation and turning around, all that kind of stuff. What the study showed was that actually the people who train tennis from a young age, they hit them plateaued and before hitting their 20s. But then the others who went into more specific like tennis training later in the years hit a higher end level, even though they were at a lower level before the 20s. But then in their 20s they hit a higher level physically. So what I'm trying to say is that just working on your strengths, for a beginner, you shouldn't just focus on for example the big three. For the general person who are just trying to be healthy and live a healthy life and get stronger without destroying himself, you're way better off putting time into getting good at building general strength in functional lifts, things like Romanian deadlifts, actually a lot of isolation and lifts that require a lot of flexibility, like Jefferson curls, air to grass squats, overhead presses are a lot better than bench press, and so on. So let me talk a bit about work capacity. So first I'm just gonna define work capacity really quick. In short, the definition of work capacity is that it's the amount your body is used to recovering from. So if you're increasing your need, which is non-exercise activity threshold, throughout the day, things like taking the stairs or jumping on the bicycle to work also counts. Gradually accumulating more high intensity and increasing sets and reps in a training at a sensible rate will increase your work capacity, and you will find it a lot easier to advance when you return to your foregoing workload. So what this means is that, let's say you are right now a lot of people are the average person here is probably like, let's say Homer Simpson, goes to work, sits down for 7.5 hours or more, then goes back home in the car again, sits down, eats food from, like, pay for food, like it doesn't make food himself, gets food from a restaurant or somewhere else, and then continues that the next day. That's not a really high work capacity. I think we can all agree on that. Like that's how many people live. Have low testosterone, no drive, no integrity, no willpower at all. There's not much that have to go against them to really put them out of direction. And I'm not just spitting out my ass here. I'm really I'm walking the talk and saying things I know for sure, and things that I try to stand up against myself. Like I'm having a physical job, and even though I'm walking around for 7.5 hours a day, I'm getting in a lot of training. Sometimes I get home from my job, have a 1 to 2 hour nap, drive on my bicycle 11 kilometers to work. After that, not to work, to training. After that I train, of course. Drive back home 11 kilometers, make dinner, and eat and go to sleep. Continue that the next day. Maybe not the bicycle training, because it's not every time I train so long away. But I train next day, grind, uploading videos, editing videos, reporting to clients, building up a business while also having a full-time job. A lot of it guys is like up here mentally. Like I'm not gonna listen to your fucking poor excuses of not having time to go train or time to prioritize your health and getting over your fucking bad excuses. If you want to prioritize your health, you're getting in a really decent workout in your home. Like just look at this. That's enough to get you in a full arm workout. You can even get in shoulder workout. And if you're really creative, you can also do some legs. Like you don't even need any equipment. You can do it on like just the floor, do push-ups and some rows on a table, all that. Enough fucking excuses. Start taking if you have like under 5 kilometers to work, just start taking the bicycle. Do the small steps, start getting in like 10,000 steps and really track over time. See when you're increasing, go from 5,000 steps on average one week, 5,200 the next, and so on. Get up to 10,000 average. Then start adding up some training, increasing that over time. Track how much weight you are lifting. Okay, this day I did 25 pull-ups. Then the next day I'm gonna do more. Then this week I did this amount of squats with 100 kilos. Next week I'm gonna do 3 reps more, 4 reps more, 5 reps more. Continue like that. Really small improvements, and watch it add up over time. Then I'm gonna talk a little bit. I already talked about the non-exercise activity threshold, like getting in your walks and your constant activity that's not like training, which I think is really important for general health, because just like the training alone, even if you're going like 5 to 6 times a week, let's say you are at the gym for 10 hours, how much are you actually doing? Maybe you're just doing some basic squats, not really deep, deadlifts, and some bench press and maybe some overhead press, and then some arms. That's not really doing a lot to your body. You're not moving your spine, you're not getting out in different positions, rotating your shoulders in and out, you're not rotating your hips in and out, getting into extension, hip flexion, adduction, abduction, all that which we really need in our daily life. So I want you to really try to get in a lot of this exercise that's not part of your training, because that's what is really going to keep you healthy. Not the training, that's just to put on some strength. Like if you're just doing the training, you're not lubricating your joints. As you know, that's when you need to stay injury free. Why is it that when you see people get injured, like bad knee injuries, staying there for like ages, and it's always, and I tell you, it's always people who have a really like easy job where they sit down constantly for all the time, and then they have no physical activity apart from that, like, and then only just their training. So they're doing all this hard work, putting a lot of stress on their tendons, but nothing like that's improving their blood circulation and lubricating their joints and really making the tendons like flexible and being able to handle more load. So when there's such a big contrast between the type of activity you're doing, it creates a big gap in your workload and a big risk to get injured when doing all these heavy lifts. So I wanted to talk a bit about the where I feel like the general public health are going, and I think it's not really looking good when we look at all the people are becoming more and more lazy, and it's really sad to see, if I'm being totally honest. Like, I don't want you to be one of these people that go and put out New Year resolution goals and trying to get up at 4 AM in the morning, only getting 5 to 6 hours sleep, starting to have bad sleep, not being able to fall asleep, then burning out. I want you to find something that's really sustainable, something where you can have tenacity and really be consistent about it. What I see with the general public health is that more and more people, just because they're going 3 kilometers, and here I'm talking about people in the 20 to 30 years age, are taking electric bikes just because it's going uphill. They're taking electric, what do you call it? Call it scooters. It's the new big thing here in Denmark, and it's fucking sad. Like, young people are weaker than ever. Just look at the amount of testosterone. People are blaming their genetics for not being able to get the strength and size they want, so they jump on trend. Like, that's more common than you think. Right, in reality, people just need to shovel their head out of their ass and get to fucking work and work on their mindset, because everyone has fucking problems. Like, it's not like they have like bad luck powder drizzled all over them and they're the only people in the world going through midlife crises and having to deal with all kind of stuff. People have just things have become too easy. Back in the days, our ancestors they had to go on hunt to get their food. Now we just go to the supermarket, or we just order it from somewhere else. Like, how fucking easy can it get? And still people are explaining, like, everything has just become like, we expect everything to be dropped at our feet and not having to work for it, or at least the average person does. So I hope this is something you can take away from this video, that you need to not blame yourself, but fucking build up a mindset and get out there and pave the road, pave the path ahead of you, and create your own future. Not let everything else around you create it for you. It's all in your own hands. So, and also our ancestors, look at the Vikings as well, a lot higher testosterone. It's not because they had better genetics or anything. There wasn't all these excuses. Social media, look at how many hours you're spending on your phone. Just go in on every one of you have this app on your phone that shows that look how many hours you have spent on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, Snapchat this week, and then tell me you're not wasting time and don't have time to go and work on something, go and train and go and improve your mental health, go and improve your work capacity, go and get higher fucking testosterone through a better diet and learn about all kind of different stuff. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about general physical preparation, which is what I would describe as easy workouts. So it's like something you can do if you're training, let's say 4 to 5 times a week, and then maybe just 4 times or even 3 times. Like small arm workouts you can do in between, like just for example with elastic bands, where you do like 25 curls, and then you do let's say 25 overhead extension, something like that with a band, like really easy just to get the blood flowing, as I talked about before, lubricating the joints. Maybe some, if you have a neck harness, some neck to the side and back and front, neck extension, neck flexion, side flexion, all that. It's really good to keep your body healthy and really be ready for the physical, like the harder physical training you're doing. It can also be like easy runs, easy bike rides, all that kind of stuff that it's not too mentally taxing, but helps you build up a general work capacity, being able to do more throughout the day and being able to recover from it. And then onto some of the solutions. I have one thing here I wanted to talk about and give a big shout out to, and that is calisthenics. For those of you who are not aware of what calisthenics is, it's basically training with your own body weight, so stuff like pull-ups, dips, push-ups, rows. Could also be stuff like handstand push-ups, all the stuff you see gymnastics do on rings are technically also calisthenics. So why do I like calisthenics when it comes to building up work capacity? Well, that is because the nature of which calisthenics is, it pretty much forces you to do high reps to succeed. Like, it's not uncommon to see people do over 30 reps in a set, like being there doing like 30 push-ups or building up to 30 pull-ups and really going hard at it for sets and reps and workload, all that, and really mastering the body, all the movement. You learn how to control your shoulder blades, you learn, and you can recover a lot faster from bodyweight movements. It's also not uncommon to see calisthenics people work out for like, let's say 4 hours. Like you would think that if you're working out for 4 hours, you're not doing like a lot of work constantly and getting in, like it will have like 5 to 10 minutes between a set, but for a lot of calisthenic guys that's not the case. Like here Saturday I was we had a calisthenics like meeting, and some of the guys were just doing freestyle on the bar for the first time, like 1.5 hours, and after then they did some handstand stuff, a lot of planching, a lot of L-sits, a lot of pull-ups, a lot of dips. Like here we're not just talking about like the usual, like maybe 3 times 10. We're talking like fucking like 1 minute sets of like fucking 20 to 30 reps, like, and like 10 sets. A lot of volume that a lot of people would think is like impossible to recover from. But this is what, like, if you are focusing on calisthenics and really want to get good at it, this is what it takes, and that is why calisthenics people are among some of the best built athletes in the world, with a low body fat percentage and a really aesthetic build, because a lot of these exercises builds up a lot of the prime muscles that make you appear big, like pull-up are of course some of the best for building great lats and upper backs in general. Push-ups are fantastic for building up front delts and chest. Sweaty push-ups, fantastic for building up triceps, same with dips. Rows as well for the back. Pike push-ups, really good for the shoulders. Handstand push-ups, if you can do those, excellent for the shoulders as well. And handstand in general builds up the enormously big, like, forearms, triceps, and especially traps, which are some of the muscles that, like, if you look at calisthenics athletes, you will notice one thing: really big shoulders and really big traps. It's one thing that always they have in common, and it's no wonder why if you can do like a 1 minute handstand or even more than that, you're gonna have big traps, and you're gonna have big shoulders and big triceps. If you can do deep handstand push-ups, if you can do planches, you're gonna have big shoulders, no matter what your body fat percentage is, no matter what weight you're at, you're gonna look relatively big to be able to perform stuff like that. Okay, that's all I have